Welcome to Realcomm Live. I'm Tom Shircliff with Intelligent Buildings, and today I've got one of the most interesting stories about how a solution company came to be. I've got my friends here from GrydSense, and I'm going to start by letting them introduce themselves, and then we're going to go through their story a little bit. Would you like to give a brief intro, you guys?
Sure. Thanks, Tom. My name is Harish, and I'm the co-founder and the CTO of GrydSense. Focus on products, the roadmap, strategies, and also on the project deliverables.
Fantastic. Bimal.
Hi, Tom. Great to catch up on this lovely event on the side of it and be a part of this journey. We have been participating in Realcomm since last 6 years. It has been a beautiful community experience. And going a little bit on my background, and you know that I come from a perspective of being an architect and a workplace designer. As a founder and principal of DSP Design, which is India's top master planning architecture interior design company. We have been in that business since last 35 years plus. As a part of that journey, we have been handling clients on the developer side as well as enterprise side. And we have been part of that community who has been designing smart buildings and intelligent buildings to start off our foray into this space.
So both developers and the Fortune 500 tenants, both?
Yes.
Both sides of that?
Yes. Yeah. And coming from that background, I initially, and that was good 8-9 years ago, we could see what was missing in this whole play. And that prompted me, and that's where I took a cap of being a co-founder and CEO and joined hands with Harish. And we have another co-founder and CFO who is Naresh to form this whole GrydSense story. Mm-hmm. So my journey has been very, very different. I don't come from a pure technology space at all.
So the problems you saw weren't a design problem, right?
Yes, absolutely. When we sat designing smart buildings and started to kind of figure out and wrap our brains around on what we want to bring in as our technology to take care of the use cases which the enterprise wanted, different personas of the enterprise wanted, we kind of ended up going and looking for variety of solutions, bring in variety of sensors and sticking them up in the ceiling and wherever they go to and then integrating that with a third-party platform to make sense. So that was a design problem.
Yes, and the fascinating part of the story is doing the design. Usually most architects I did my part. But you followed through and thought, hey, the design's fine, there's something going on in operations. There was a lack of data, lack of information, performance, tenant experience that wasn't a part of the design, so you decided to create a sensor and smart building solution to satisfy that, to blend it with the design better?
Yeah, so we said, hey, we are not just going to restrict ourselves into putting question marks and saying, hey, there are not enough good design solutions. Let's create a solution by ourselves. And that's where Harish came on the table, and he had a similar vision from his previous experience, and he said, Bimal, we sound to be thinking in the same direction, why don't we join hands?
And so can you sketch that out real quick? So you started out with sensors. We have to get data for the customers. We have to get information from a sensor perspective. And then what happened next? That was achieved, but then was that not enough even?
You want to take that over?
Yeah, so it's not only sensors. So when you look at the blueprint, what we did 7 years back, it was not just about creating a sensor, because sensors were already there in the market, right? It's about how do you make it more versatile, how do you make it more integrated, how do you make it easier to handle, right? And also more extensible. So that's the key part.
Yes.
Now, a sensor, it does one primary job, right? Now, if I have 5 things to do, I need to have 5 different elements in the ceiling to handle that. So we started consolidating some of these things. So we started packing 2 or 3 elements into one product, right? So where these becomes more integrated, pre-integrated, it's more extensible, more versatile, and it's also the new age systems. So we started packing a lot of analytics on the edge.
Yes.
Right? So that's the key thing that we brought in. So the AI was brought onto the edge out over there right from day one. So Over time, we improve as the silicon improves, so we also improve our products out over there. So we are already in the third generation, now we are already designing the fourth generation of sensor. So
And
that's
also,
what
if
took
I
us
understand right, working with whatever the customer might already have in place, not a rip and replace to work with you?
So that was an essential part of our blueprinting of our solution, the way the architecture of the solution had to be defined. So when we took a position on day zero that we are going to be a platform and a sensor company both, not just either a platform or a sensor company, we were quite aware that there would be a lot of existing elements within the enterprise environment, and we should be able to take data from there and talk to that and integrate with our platform too. So yes, the architecture, what we have designed, what Harish and the team has designed and brought to life is completely, so though we have a choice of providing our devices, we can work with any third-party devices or draw data from any existing BMS too.
Yeah, so customers want easy, they want performance, and you are not only making it easy because you work with what they have, high performance, but also cost. Usually you have to pick 2 out of 3, but you're saying, no, you don't have to rip things out, you can put ours in and have that cross functionality.
Absolutely. We have to be, as a solution providing company, we have to provide that choice to the enterprise of what they are living with, what they want to retain out of that, and what new layers they want to add on, and then devise your pricing structure accordingly.
So you've been working on this for a while with your history and architecture and trying to fill in this problem for the customer and developing that, but along comes AI, and I challenged you on this previously, and you said, no, already been planning for that. So you are now leveraging AI already, not just because it's in the news, right? That was by design?
Yes, that's already by design. So the AI was already on the edge. Now we are bringing the AI on the cloud as well.
Yes, and by the way, we'll talk more about AI, but the edge is also something, when everybody was all cloud, and you certainly have cloud, but you were also mindful that there need to be edge functionality. And I think you were a little ahead on that, that kind of rebound back to some edge functionality.
Right, so the edge is something that I always envision that because bringing the data to the cloud would require a lot of cloud computing time and cost.
Yes.
Right? Now, edge sensors are one-time cost. So we push a lot of computing onto the edge, and then we keep our cloud little light, mainly for data collection, analysis, dashboarding, and for various other new functionality that we're bringing in out over there.
Yes, and I also understand is that all of your existing customer data has been planned and is now being leveraged in a large language model for you to not only learn and refine, but to apply agentic orchestration to?
Yes, so that is something that we've been doing from the last several quarters. So we are able to successfully deploy that onto one of our customers out over there. So we are the key part is to have the data right, cleanse the data, then feed it to the LLMs to give us more meaningful output, right? So there are already challenges which are there in the agentic AIs. We want to make it as easy and as simpler as possible so that the agentic AI is able to provide us the required inputs in terms of how to manage the building more efficiently, right? So that's our primary focus, and we have it successfully running on one of our customers, and then as we get more and more data out over there, so we plan to now bring that into all our customers which are currently running on traditional way of doing BMS systems.
That's fantastic. And also, Bimal, I understand, so with your history in India and all these large multinational corporations and developers, you've created a critical mass there, but now you are available and moving into the United States.
Absolutely. So our go-to-market strategy was, again, planned from that perspective, because you have multinational clients as presence in India. So what we decided was target the top 15, 20 thought leaders who would need this kind of technology, who would need this kind of optimization of space, optimization of energy, environmental sensing, well-being, experience, all as one stack. And we had success with few of the leading clients out of India, and now they themselves are asking us whether we could provide them service in the other regions. So one of our clients, who is SAP, who is one of our large clients in India, they then patched us up with the teams here in US, in New York, and we are having some evaluation talks there.
Great, and I just want to emphasize to the audience that I heard earlier Sinclair Digital is a similar story where he had a hotel and he wanted to make his own sort of DC infrastructure, and that was so good he went on to make a business out of that. And similarly here, you were in the architecture business for 30 years and really refined and saw what the problems were, and a solution comes from that. That is a different kind of a story than a sort of a Silicon Valley, PhDs and some VC money. So I would just like to encourage you to learn more about this story and this journey. It's fantastic. There's a lot of knowledge there. I want to thank you guys for sharing the story on Realcomm Live today.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.